Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins of the Marvel DC Multiverse. We are now at episode 302, and I'll be doing a review on The Suicide Squad. So, spoiler alert. If you have not seen The Suicide Squad, I strongly suggest that you do not listen to this episode. You've been warned. So, Intelligence Officer Amanda Waller assembles two Task Force X teams. Colloquially known as the Suicide Squad, that compromised Belle Reve penitentiary inmates who agreed to carry out missions for Waller in exchange for lighter sentences. They are sent to the South American island nation of Corto Maltese after its government is overthrown by an anti-American regime, and are tasked with destroying the Nazi-era laboratory, Jotunheim, which holds a secretive experiment known as Project Starfish. One team is led by Waller's subordinate, Colonel Rick Flag, who are almost entirely wiped out by the Corto Maltese military upon landing. His distraction allows the other team to enter the country undetected. The second team is led by assassin Bloodsport, who accepted the mission in order to prevent his daughter from being incarcerated at Belle Reve, and consists of Peacemaker, King Shark, Polka Dot Man, and Ratcatcher 2. They find Flag at a base camp for rebel soldiers and convince rebellion leader Soria to assist him. Harley Quinn survives the attack on the first team and is taken captive by the Corto Maltese government. She learns of the new regime's plans to use Project Starfish against other nations. In the Corto Maltese capital, the second team captures the Thinker, the lead scientist in charge of Project Starfish. So Harley escapes and joins the others, who use the Thinker to break into Jotunheim. Most of the squad rigs the facility with explosives as Flag and Ratcatcher 2 enter the underground laboratory with the Thinker. He reveals that Project Starfish is Starro the Conqueror, a giant alien starfish that creates smaller versions of itself to kill people and take control of their bodies. Starro was brought to Earth by the U.S. government, who had been secretly funding experiments on him in Corto Maltese for the past 30 years, using thousands of the island's citizens as test subjects. An enraged Flag decides to leak a hard drive containing evidence of this revelation, but is killed by Peacemaker, who is under secret orders from Waller to cover up the U.S.'s involvement in the experiments. So, meanwhile, a skirmish between the squad and the Corto Maltese military leads to Polka Dot Man accidentally setting off the explosives prematurely. As the facility falls apart, Peacemaker attempts to execute Ratcatcher 2 for knowing the truth about Starro, but Bloodsport shoots him and takes the drive. Starro escapes and escapes the destroyed lavatory, kills the Thinker, and much of the military and begins taking control of the island's population. Waller tells Suicide Squad that their mission is to complete. Waller tells the squad that their mission is complete now that Jotunheim is destroyed, but Bloodsport chooses to ignore her and leads his teammates in battling Starro. Waller attempts to execute the squad for this, but is incapacitated by her subordinates. During the battle, Polka Dot Man is killed. Harley pierces a hole in Starro's eye, and Ratcatcher 2 summons the city's rats to chew the alien to death from the inside. So, with the military diverted, Sora takes control of the government and pledges democratic elections. Bloodsport forces Waller to release him and his surviving teammates from their imprisonment in exchange for keeping the contents of the drive confidential. And the squad are airlifted out of Corto Maltese. In a post-credit scene, Peacemaker is shown to be alive and under the supervision of Waller's subordinates. And of course, there's another post-credit scene where Weasel, who we thought drowned, was actually alive. And, living on the island. So, the movie made $154.6 million in the box office with a production budget of $185 million. So, yeah, the movie bombed. The movie was okay. I probably wouldn't watch that a second time, and it wasn't really worth the wait, as I thought it would be. There are a few things that upset me, it infuriated me, rather. Is one, they killed off Polka Dot Man, who's played by David Dastmalchian, who I really like as an actor. So they killed off Polka Dot Man, they killed Red Flag, they killed Captain Boomerang in the beginning of the movie. That really angered me. And Weasel, survived, even though I was hoping he would just, get killed off since he wasn't very useful. But there was one good fight in the movie. Well, two good fights. One with Harley Quinn against the Corto Maltese military. There was a fight between her and them, and then of course the fight with I would say Rick Flag and Peacemaker. So, but yeah, I like the CGI that was done, and I like how they were able to get some of the DC characters in there as much as possible, because you wouldn't get that under Snyder. But, unfortunately, the whole point of the Suicide Squad comic books and the movies is that not all the villains are going to make it out alive. That's why it's called Suicide Squad. So, but, yeah, I would not watch this movie a second time, and I don't think James Gunn should ever direct another Suicide Squad film. I would just stick to Guardians of the Galaxy if I were him. So, that movie gets a 7. You know what? Screw that. It's going to get a 6.5 out of 10 because the things that pretty much pissed me off in that film. But yeah, the death of Rick, killing off Rick Flag, that did it. Killing off Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian, did it. And who else? Killing off Captain Boomerang, yeah, that did it too. So hopefully the Flashpoint will undo those deaths. But yeah, we'll see. So, but anyway, that concludes this interview. Feel free to visit us, like us on Facebook. We're available on iTunes, Google Play Music app, Spotify, and of course YouTube.